There. New protection. As you recall, we had the battery inside the car underneath the passenger side dashboard, above Emily's feet, where she is worried she might get dripped on by a battery. But that isn't going to happen because we have an AGM battery, which does not leak apparently. So what we're doing is going to put this battery box back up under the car. Now that we've covered the firewall in carbon fiber, this does pose an issue as it's going to look bad. And we don't want it to look bad, so we need to find a solution to go on the other side of this to sandwich it against the firewall so it provides structure and also looks nice. Before me, I have power wires. These are the old power wires from the car. And on the firewall, they run up and over, or did run up and over from the battery terminals in the engine bay, up over ground to the engine and to power to the starter. That also needs to change because we don't want to see that. Now, I was going to change these. I thought this was red, but these are both black, which is nice. We are going to clean these up and we're going to reroute them a different way. And that should work out just fine. These are very thick gauge welding wire. And these are made by yours truly. So they've held up pretty well. We're going to find another way to put them on the car. We also have the old fuse panel that I've got. We might still put this in for something, or maybe just use the battery banks here. We might just use the battery banks instead, so we get some power going to the ECUs that we need to, and maybe run a relay for the fuel pump if we think that 25 amps is not enough, which I don't think it is. I think it might be 40 on startup, and then like 17 or something while it's running. I'll have to double check that. For now, this needs to go in the car. We need to clean up that area. We got to get moving, and we're going to reroute some of this wiring in there. It was all for that old setup, and we're going to make it look nicer. So we'll go just like that. All right, so that'll get bolted up here. Oh, and these wires are stiff and thick. It'll get tucked up there. Then down here at the starter, everything's looking nice. All kind of runs up. We'll tuck all that wiring up in there. Ground is connected, and we have a power wire running to the alternator. So we're running like 1 gauge or 2 gauge, something like that, like very thick wire. So over here, we have a little bit of cleanup to do after. We're going to tie up all these wires, and that's it. As you've seen already, the wires are pulled inside. We have fittings coming for that. And we will move on to the inside. Is these connections. This one's tight. This one's tight, but this one a little loose. Something with the plastic threads there on that isolator. I'll have to figure out on the inside. As we move inside, we've got 0 gauge running, or 1/0 gauge, I guess 0 gauge, coming from the back at the air compressors. That draws 80 amps, and that is insane. So that goes back there. Also, the stereo amp wiring runs off of this. There's a power brick at the back, which I'll show you guys later when we do the air suspension. Now, up inside here, we have some, well, you can see the plate that we made. That's still in there. And this is where the battery goes. So right underneath where the passenger goes. And then inside here, in case you're wondering what it looks like inside of your HVAC area, The two isolators are here, so we'll give those another little snug up, and then those wires come out. They connect to the battery. I've got a 100 amp fuse that's up underneath that PDM there, and that runs for that main cable, and we'll run across. Maybe we will put the two isolation blocks, or those two power blocks, we'll put them right there, and then we can start running some power cables to the ECU and clean up some of this crap that's down here. In the meantime, of course, I got a little distracted as usual, but power cables are in and they are connected. So the ECU is connected. I got to put the little covers over the thingamajiggers. This is all there. We've got lots of spare power. The first one below is going to be for the battery, and the top is the ground. So that's good. That's all good. The dash piece fits in. I thought maybe it went a little further back. I was mistaken. So we're going to put a little shelf there. The lighting controller is going to go in there. There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff in there. Which moves us on to, I had to take a break because I was leaning in and out of there. So what we're doing now is changing the motor mounts over to polyurethane. And I can show you how to do it in about 10 seconds. Here's the old mount. You can see it's very rubbery. And here is the poly mount, much bigger. And at first glance, you'd be like, well, that doesn't fit. Well, it does. It does fit. As you can see here, I've already done one. It took me about 5 seconds to do. So hardest thing was getting the engine up, which is supported by a piece of wood underneath. And we're going to pull off the other one. Step 1, remove. And if you look inside of here, you'll see there's a big gap there. Step 2, drill out the, I don't know even what these are called. Press welds? I don't know. You need to separate this piece to take this off. Step 3, remove this bracket and remove this piece of rubber. 4, mate the round piece on the round piece. Whoop, and use 2 hands to assemble. Yes, like this. Then apply this old piece back on here. I think this way. And now, as you can see, there is no more gap in between the piece and the steel. So we should be more centered in the mount now. And the final step, put it back together. Now they include some nice zip ties to keep the front and back piece in together, but we don't need those. And I think we gained our 1/8 of an inch. It's not going anywhere. And there you have it. That is a polyurethane bushing, small black Chevy, and a success. It is stiff as a board now. So the concern was down here just at the base. Now you can see through, but before it was just touching this little point of paint come off of that thing. P.S. a side note, a little bit of sun's coming through the window, and that green, oh man, that looks good. And the purple, oh, sunshine will do this some good. And we're back with some interior wiring again. So we've got, this is the ignition switch cable, and that will activate and turn on the ECU. We've got some extra inputs there and there if we need them. I ran the T56 wire underneath. Now you just have to run it under, hold it, and connect it to the speed sensor. And then here, the main event, we have the 15-button keypad. I'm thinking I'm going to put it right in the center because this is all going to be nice and clean. Same kind of setup with that piece of glass, but behind it will be something insane, and you're not going to want to miss that. Here also, that's where the 10-inch screen is going to go. We're probably going to lift it up maybe just a hair more, but I think that looks really good there. and the stereo controls and everything will be all kind of in this area. Center console will stay, and that I think will make a nice addition there with the shifter right in the middle, hopefully not in the way of anything. I will make sure that it doesn't hit the screen, obviously, but when you're sitting in there, it fits really nice. It's easy to see, and that will be even nicer. What we've got to do is mount this in here like this, onto this like that. They were a little loose last season. The connections were good, but I couldn't really get in here and tighten them down. This year I connected the outside wire first, and that seems to work good. So this one here is the chassis ground. This goes out onto the frame, and then we add this one. Is it this one or this one? This side, I think. This one here goes to the battery ground. Squeeze here. Okay, we're going to try to reuse some of the old bolts. I'm just going to paint them. It'll be fine. We have no time to waste, so we are doing what we can with what we've got. Yes. Oh, I forgot to put the rods in. Woo! Now the tricky part. Don't touch any of the leads with this bar that goes straight across the leads. You know what I could do? I'll wrap this in electrical tape, maybe. Yeah, that ain't going anywhere. So this will continue up that way. Because you didn't route this properly the last time. This big wire just kind of sits here. But we will fasten it up now here this time. Up right there. This goes here. A little flappy, but we will come down instead this time. I think here like this. Alrighty folks. Here is the interior. Here's the interior, looking nice. Battery is in place. All the Rebel stuff is starting to get connected. We are on the home stretch to start running some more wire. Yeehaw! So yeah, connect these and should be good. And last but not least, I didn't want to put these holes here, but I gotta. So I'm gonna tape all this off. We'll paint these black, kind of like a matte black maybe, and they'll start to fade away. There's a bar that comes here too, so you don't really, it'll be mashed with stuff. Maybe I'll put the catch can here or something to kind of work on that, but we got to have some function, we got to have some safety. So the battery won't come out here, obviously it's got to go there. So we got to do what we got to do. We'll charge it, we'll be able to do all kinds of things. Maybe we'll even boost somebody if they need a boost. Probably not, but we'll need a boost, so it'll be easy. Yeah, that's great. Made some good progress. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one, where we're going to get the drive shaft in, we're going to fix the air lines, we're going to connect the clutch, maybe we'll even put some fluid in it, we can even put some fluid in the transmission, we can put some fluid in the engine, We can get that stuff sorted out, and then we're on to fuel lines. We can get the fuel lines going. I'm gonna have to get the tires on this soon and push it outside. We got some rejigging to do. But yeah, the next one will be ready for that, and then I'll be able to patch that hole in the floor as well for the transmission. And then, once we have fuel, I mean, we could try to start it. We could. I mean, it doesn't need a turbo to run. We can at least hear some pow-pows or something, and then run the coolant lines, and then start fabricating, and yeah. Only a few more things to do. We'll see you on the next one.